Hello everyone. So I've been a Robinhood user for the last 5 years, and as I was reading a lot through the FIRE movement, I thought let me make a good video which can help a ton of more users to use this product very effectively. So I made this quick video to show you some cool, easy to use features. No matter you are new to investing or you've been possibly a stock investor in some other app, but hopefully this video should help you quickly get a glance through what are the key features that I've used over the last several years, and then how you can make some quick buck using some of these processes. Okay. All right. So if you see from the graphical user interface, a lot of changes that have happened over the last several years is the news feed which you see here. Extensively, this is really helpful to understand what's happening in the markets and what are the trends that you should be looking for, and that could possibly help you to trade in the shorter term. You can as well hold those stocks for the long term, but this would give you a great idea to understand which stocks are performing really well. So here is one example. So when I log in to the Robinhood app, and as you browse through the feed, you see these daily moves. The daily moves give you a good personalized experience based on your past trading, on what are the effective market moves that you might be interested in. So that's one good feature around it. And one thing that I've learned over the last 5 years trading in the app is don't uh, just be very emotional about the market trends. Try to understand what's your goal. And I personally haven't done too much of day trading, but my short term trading experience has been around 5 days to 1 month of holding. And then the longer term, as we see, is more than 1 year. But these kind of daily moves sort of give you a good idea of what's a trend in the market. So, for example, if things have been going negatively for the last 5 or 6 days, it gives you a good trend around what's the moving direction, what you could possibly be investing in, and what would help you in your portfolio. All right, so that's with the daily movers. Let me go back to my home screen. All right, so if you click the top left leaf here, it's going to take you back to your feed. And investing is like a long term game, right? So you can start with as low as maybe some couple of $100, and as you keep investing, I started this video with the concept of the fire moment, right? So while everybody was trying to save some money for retiring early, the idea should be, how do I invest every month small amount of money, and as maybe your earnings go a little higher, you can keep the same strategy to invest for the long run. So one of the key features is investing in some of the good stocks, but uh, even the best of stocks, they do underperform for a short while. So options is a good strategy which has been deployed by Robinhood, and the tool is really good how to use that. So I'm going to show you a good example using one of the stocks. So let me just take a example of Tesla. It has been a pretty volatile stock over the last year or so. So this is a good user interface which shows you what is a trend in the market, right? And you must have heard many of the financial services firms saying the past is not an indicator of the future performance of a stock. But ideally speaking, it's one of the trending indicators. So when I say a trending indicator, you can look at some trends around how a company is doing, how their earnings are, how is their product actually getting outsold in the market. And Tesla is a good example of that. So I have invested personally in this stock over more extensive the last 2 years, but I have known some users who have been with the stock for a longer period of time. So I think that you cannot time the market. You can always get into the stock, and you shouldn't be panicking. That's the goal about investing for the long run, right? So if you're trying to leverage the fire moment, trying to retire early or save some surplus, just make sure that you're consistently investing every month, even if it's a couple of $100, or as it goes, maybe several $1,000s a month. So this is the example I was talking about. So you can buy a stock using this option. So if you go to the Tesla stock here, and you can enter the number of shares that you need. You can, if you don't want the market price, you can buy it at a specific price amount, and that's going to be the limit, as they call it. But what I wanted to focus on is the options, right? So if you go to Tesla options here, and options fundamentally is a contract which helps you buy stock for the future, right? So every buy or a sell option has an expiration date, right? So I personally, when I invested over the last 1 or 2 years, I looked at call options which are expiring at least a year out, or 9 months out, or maybe 18 months out. The reason for that being, you can play with the short term fluctuation, but that's really too risky. So I don't advise any of the users try to do that. So when you look at a 1 year, 18-month or plus horizon, and you're looking at good companies like Tesla or Google, or if you're looking at Microsoft, I think a year or a 18-month or 2 year horizon is a good option to look at. So as you start playing with options, I highly recommend people focus at least a year or 18 months out and look for one of those options. And when you select one of those options, for an example, if I take July 15th, right? Look for options which are very close to the current market price. So, for example, to break even, this option will only need 2.29% growth. So, while this option might not make a ton of money, it will still make a significant amount of money based on the movement in the market. And it also reduces your downside risk. What I mean by that is, if the stock goes 2.29% up, your call option is going to start making money for you. And if it goes down, of course you're going to lose money, but it's not going to be significantly higher, like not like $100,000, etc. Right? So when you look at that, look at options. You can also argue that why not I take a option which is significantly lower price. So if you see, as the percentages increase, the break-even percent increase, the price of the option goes down. But the risk with that is, we think the stock is going to have some changes, but we are not sure it's going to be like more than 5% or not, even in the 6 month or 8 month horizon that we have, right? So it's a game of how much risk you want to take. So the reason I'm showing this option to you guys is, as you start playing with options, try to have low risk profile. Like, try to play around with options which gives you an idea of how to play with options, but with a reduced risk. So look for an option which is at least 6 months to 12 months out, and look at an option which has a break-even price at the lowest. So scroll all the way down, and that's what it's going to show you in Robinhood. So that's one good tip I recommend to all the users. One more new feature which Robinhood has recently uh, put forth for users is to just view options. So when I say that, what we are actually doing is, we are going to look for an option, and we are going to select it, and possibly just try to understand what's the option high and low price, and not actually go and commit and buy it. Try to understand how much you could lose on it, which in the case of option is, maximum loss is the whole money that you put, and what is the upper limit. The profit, as it says, unlimited, but I would say, expect something like 30-40% growth if you're looking at option. So these are some good charts which have recently been being developed by Robinhood, which gives the users a good sort of idea of how the option is going to trend. Okay, so that's one of the easy ways. So I'll make more short videos of this, but for new users who are trying Robinhood for the first time, this video was more focused on options. So, how to navigate this feed, that is what we learned today. We went in the app, we navigated the feed, look at some of the movers, and then we specifically looked at some options. So we'll talk about more options in future videos, but and don't get like too excited with the account amount. This has been um, grown over the last 5 to 6 years, so it didn't happen overnight. So what I would recommend is look out for something like this. So if you see in Robinhood, it gives you a really good perspective of how much you can grow. So if you see the fluctuations over the last month, it has been really low, but over the 3 month period, it has really grown significantly. And over the last year, it's pretty good compared to the Vanguard and all those funds. And then over the last 5 years or 6 years, so it gives you a good graphical of where we were. So maybe I started around June of 2016, and the portfolio has grown so much, and a majority of that proportion is due to Tesla. But what I wanted to show the users is how you try to learn from these tools and how you can slowly develop your trading expertise and how you can get value over time. So if you see, as I was learning the trading options, etc., I wasn't making too much money, but I was persistent. I was trying to learn a lot around how the options work, how the stock works, and even the product has improved. Robinhood product has improved over time. But the idea is to keep investing. And if you see the majority, when the COVID outbreak happened, the market significantly went down. So the returns were almost close to like 1% over 2 years. But I didn't panic. I used that opportunity to stay invested. Also bought a couple of options. And if you see over the last 1 year or 1.5 year, it has gone all the way from 1.4 to all the way till 400%. So it's a long game from investing from 2 to 4 year period, but this is definitely going to help you be invested and then reach your fire goals. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this session. We'll have more videos like this. Thank you.